Hi guys, welcome back. It's Danielle and today I'm going to go through my September TBR. So I have not done a TBR video since the summer. I just did kind of a big general summer TBR and listed off a bunch of books I was interested in reading. I honestly have no idea how I did with my summer TBR. Maybe I should go back and look at that and see if I actually read anything that I wanted to read. Probably not is the answer to that one. But for the month of September, I think I'm going to participate in the Hogwarts House Battle Readaton. I've been doing a lot of readathons lately, and I haven't been doing a great job with them, but I enjoy participating in them nonetheless and making TBRs. And I know I'm probably not going to read all the books that are going to be on this list, but these are some that I'm going to pick from and that I'm most excited to read and that kind of fit the prompts for the House Battle challenges. So, there are 15 classes for this challenge, and I think you can double up and read the same book for more than one class. So that's what I'm going to do for a lot of these. And I'm just going to kind of go over some of the books that fit the prompts that I am interested in reading this month. So the first class is Alchemy, and the prompt is read a book recommended by a friend. And so for that, I am still working on reading The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. I have this from the library. I have not made hardly any progress at all because my access to the audiobook through Scribd has stopped until September 6th, so that's kind of why I put this down last month and didn't finish reading it. But I really do want to read this book. It's been on my TBR forever. Next up is Apparition. Read this book only in public. I have no idea which book I'm planning on doing this with or if I plan on doing this at all, but I'll let you know if I do. Next up is Arithmancy, and this is to read a book with a number in the title. And I'm kind of cheating a little bit for this one, but I picked Adaptive, which is book 2 in The Elite Trials by Becky Moynihan. This is a self-published book. This is the sequel to Reactive. I am good friends with Becky, and I'm really excited to read this sequel. And I've been meaning to read it for like the last 2 months, so I really need to get on reading this. Next up is Astronomy, and the challenge for this is to read a book only at night, and I probably will pick one to just read at night when I'm in bed, before bed. I think it'll probably be Peter Pan, but I'm not 100% sure. But that is kind of my plan currently. Next up is Care of Magical Creatures, and this is to read a book with an animal on the cover. And so for this one, I picked House of Salt and Sorrows because there is an octopus, or a couple octopi tentacles on here, and there's also like starfish and other small sea creatures, so I decided to make this one count for that. This is also the house book for Ravenclaw, so it counts. It'll double up and count as that one as well. Next up is Charms, and that is to read a new to you book, and I'm also going with House of Salt and Sorrows because I just got this book, and it's a new release, so it's pretty new to all of us. Next up is Defense Against the Dark Arts. Read a book you previously put down. And for that, I'm going to be reading The Hobbit by Tolkien. I am also participating in the Hobbit read-along hosted by Linda Bookmania over on Instagram. It is The Hobbit's birthday or Tolkien's birthday or something this month, or maybe just Linda's birthday. But anyway, she's hosting a read-along of this, and since I never officially finished this book, I'm going to pick it back up this month and hopefully read all the way through it. Next up is Divination, and that is to read a predicted 5-star book. And for this, I am going to be reading The Owl Escape by N.K. Jemisin. I read the 5th season last month and I loved it. I did it as a buddy read, and we're continuing with our buddy read this month, so I will be reading that one. I really loved the 5th season. For me, it was a 4.5-star book, which I rounded up to 5, and so I'm thinking The Owl Escape will be just as good, if not better. Next up is Flying, and that is to read your most anticipated book. I would say House of Salt and Sorrows is one of my more anticipated books, and this is a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, which I have never read one of those, but I do really enjoy the original fairy tale, and so I'm excited to read this and kind of see how this story unfolds. And I've heard a lot of great things, That being said, I'm trying to go in with not super high expectations because I don't want it to be not as good as I want it to be. Next up is Herbology. Read a book that means a lot to you. I'm going to also say adaptive for this one, just because Becky is such a good friend and I really appreciate her sharing her writing journey with me and just being supportive and being a great friend. So seeing her book in publication is fantastic and I want to support her, and so this book means a lot to me. History of Magic. Read a book from another generation. So for this one I have Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. This is a classic that I've really wanted to read for a long time. It's nice and short and I figured it is time for me to read it. I have also been participating in an Instagram challenge that's centered around mermaids and pirates, and it's just kind of gotten me in the mood to read Peter Pan and maybe some retellings in the near future as well. Muggle Studies. Read a hyped book. Again, House of Salt and Sorrow. Very hyped. Potions. Read a genre you wouldn't usually pick up. So for that, I'm going to say This Mortal Coil by Emily Savada. While dystopian is a genre that I do pick up, this is kind of in some ways a zombie story, and I typically don't like zombie stories. I don't enjoy reading them. However, this is a buddy read for Murphy Napier's Patreon group, and I've actually wanted to read this book. I didn't necessarily know it was a zombie book before I started reading it, but I've wanted to read this book. It was our group read, our buddy read, and now that I've started it, I really am loving it, so we'll see how it goes, but I am very excited about reading this one. Next up is Ancient Runes, and it is to read a classic novel, and I might double up on Peter Pan for this one. However, I also recently bought this beautiful edition of Pride and Prejudice, and I have really wanted to read this book for a while. I've read a couple other classics now, and I think it might be the perfect time to dive back into this world and give it another go. I could also use this one for a book that I've picked up and also put down, because I've tried to read this one more than once. And then the last class is Transfiguration, and that is to read the book you bought most recently, and that is The Rise of Kyoshi by F.C. Lee. This is an Avatar: The Last Airbender novel, and it is about Kyoshi, who was the Avatar, a previous Avatar in the Avatar world, and I just absolutely love this world. I love everything about it, and I just want to consume all things Avatar. So I picked up this one for my birthday at Barnes & Noble, so it is the most recent book purchase I have. So there you have it. These are some of the books that I am choosing from for the Hogwarts House Battle Readathon. Let me know if you're participating in the Readathon down below, and let me know which of these books you're most excited to see me read, or if you have any recommendations out of this stack of books, because I would love to hear them. Thanks for watching, happy reading, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Goodbye. That's heavy.